Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I'm not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for this show. And as with every film therapy session, I have a guest patient, and my guest patient today is Mike Aransky. Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
good. It's going lovely, actually.
Oh, good.
Thanks for letting me join.
Well, thank you for coming on the show today. You've been requested, so that's exciting. And for those
Thank you
people
very
who have
much,
never
whoever requested me.
Yes, thank you to those requests that came in. To those of you who have never seen this show, this is how it works. It is called Film Therapy. And what we do is we talk about three questions about film. It's a storytelling show where I ask, what is a film that inspires you? What is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy. And what is a film that helps you through difficult times? So before we get into that, let's get to know Mike a little bit more because I don't
Sure.
even know you. This is our first time meeting.
Oh,
I mean, I know you
I know.
Twitter knowing of people.
That's right. I do the Twitters.
So who are you?
Yeah.
What are you all about? What's your brand?
This is a really deep conversation.
It is.
My name is Mike Aransky. I do a channel on YouTube, Aransky. That's I'm assuming you follow me from. Where I talk about what I'm trying to make after many years. I've made many films over the last 20 years or so. And this is me trying to get my confidence to come back and try to make another film after being on kind of hiatus for the last 5 years. Because during that 5 years, things got crazy. I got a job here on the other side of the world where I used to live in the East Coast. I worked for NBC, and then I got an opportunity to work for IGN. IGN is a very big video game and entertainment journalism company, I guess, because we're all over the place. And I am the senior producer for video development over here. So I work on I'm like the pitch guy. I do a lot of the pitches over here. So
So when I have an
so
idea,
yeah, I'm
then
all
I'm
over the
going to
place.
come to you and I'm going to sell it.
Yeah,
And then you sell
you
it to
got it.
someone else.
Done. We'll get some
Sweet.
sponsorship on that. Make a big
Sweet.
sale.
Excellent. Excellent. This show is going places, guys.
There we go.
Places.
Good opportunities everywhere. You never know. But no, yeah. So I'm a huge film nut. I would say a good chunk of my life has been surrounded by movies. I've worked a million video stores. I've worked a million movie theaters. I know movies quite well, and I'm truthfully told, like the thing I am most passionate about is filmmaking, and so that's where we stand now. Because the classic Aransky, that's what I'm back to doing. Because I've been a busy, crazy 5 years with family life and job life, and now I'm back to here trying to make movies. So there you go. There's that.
All right, I love it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, earlier when we were talking before everyone else joined our conversation, everyone in the waiting room, you were telling me that you have a 4-year-old daughter. So
I do.
that is a big reason why you've had that gap of 5 years from your last film.
Yeah.
Which makes
sense. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look, obviously 4 years, and that kind of fills the gap. It's making movies was it's not a very financially rewarding thing now, but the things that kind of satisfy me and keeps me going. And so, yeah, when having a kid, it's obviously a lot of times been in your time to spend being a family man. So I've been kind of holding back and doing the filmmaking part, and now I'm just trying to encourage myself because I'm about to turn 40. So probably slow that off soon. So I want to make sure I have something to hold back with.
All right, well, let's get into our first question today, which is, what is a film that inspires you? And if it's Clerks, I'm going to laugh. Because I'm like, ooh, independent film, Clerks. Are you still
Sean
there?
Finnegan, Shark Finnegan. That was his answer last time. I will not use that answer. So, because there's that. I do love Clerks. It's a great movie, but it's the movies or franchise that I love the most is actually Evil Dead. Okay. Evil Dead 2, I would say, of the three is from Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. Evil Dead 2 is the most encouraging of the films for me. It was kind of the thing that was my stepping off point. Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, Robert Tabbert. Scott Spiegel, all those guys are like gods to me because they're the guys that kind of encouraged me to want to make movies because they made those movies for very little money. Well, Army of Darkness not because it was under Universal at that point, so they had a little more money, and he'd just done Darkman at that point. But Evil Dead 2 was kind of a big kind of moment of an epiphany for me. I'd seen Evil Dead 2 with a group of friends one night after I had seen Army of Darkness, which I loved Army of Darkness, but had zero context to knowing that these, because Army of Darkness doesn't have the titling Evil Dead in it. It's actually a legal thing. They just, because Universal has the rights to Army of Darkness, and Evil Dead is owned by a completely different company. So saw Army of Darkness. I was like, oh, this movie is crazy. I love it. It's really fun. My buddy's like, you need to see the second one. That's the one you need to see. And I'm like, okay. So literally my timeline backs up. But Evil Dead 2 is great because it's very minimal characters. It's also just a lot of fun because it's more of like Evil Dead 1 was like more straight horror. Evil Dead 2 is where it was like the first movie, but super campy, super fun. The pacing of that movie is out of control great. Bruce Campbell is obviously fantastic as Ash. And it's just one of those things where if I ever had to point out one movie that kind of got me to want to be like, I'm going to go make my movies, Evil Dead 2 was that. So I guess that would be my answer at this point. But I love the trilogy as a whole.
Are your films, or the film that you are going to make and the film that you've made, are they horror films then?
My films are all over the place. We started off with a dramedy. And then we moved on to a comic book style movie before comic book movies were like a thing. And then my last film was a film called Phobia. That film was a super solid horror film at that point. So yeah, I'm all over the place genre wise, but I love horror movies. Oh, I love horror movies to death.
Would that be your favorite genre then, or?
I would say so. It's funny, like horror has like a bunch of different levels of like where horror movies are. There's like suspense horrors. There's like you got like torture porn style horror movies. You got your scare horror movies, and then you got the ones that I like, which are like comedy horror movies, which are just so dumb and so much fun to watch that I can never get enough of them. Because anytime someone tells me like, dude, there's this movie, it's like super blood splatter fest, but it's super fun to watch, like, and it's super enjoyable. I have to jump in and watch it at every cost that I can.
That's a genre that I've picked up recently, like with Fright,
Yeah.
the original Fright Night, and I was like,
"Oh,
what is this?"
Yeah, Tom Holland's Fright Night is fantastic. Like even like, so you saw the original one. You're saying not the remake. The remake, by the way, is actually quite good. Like I was very surprised, like how much I like that movie. But yeah, Tom Holland's original Fright Night 2, on shakier grounds, but Fright Night 1, man, that's a great movie.
My favorite horror films are basically like the horror thriller films, which probably are more thriller and less horror, but it's like frightening to me because it's like, oh, this could really happen. Anything that could really possibly happen in life, that scares me the most.
Oh yeah, I mean those are great movies. I mean, I just saw Get Out like 2 weeks ago, I think now. Man, that movie caught me so by surprise. Jordan Peele, I never expected in a million miles that he would be that like good as a first time director. Man, it was just phenomenal little movie. So, and that's I don't know if you've seen it or not yet. That's great. Should see it.
I've seen Get Out. We're going to be talking about Get Out on 6 Degrees of Future Film next week with William Bibbiani. And we're very excited about that. And we're also going to be talking about The People Under the Stairs, which is something
Wes Craven movie.
Not watched.
Oh,
and I'm
man, you haven't seen
going to be watching.
Yeah.
My cue for I recently went back to the Send Me DVDs Netflix.
Yeah.
And so I am at that point where my queue is like 75, 100 films deep. And I'm like, just like,
wait, back me up.
Off everything.
Does Netflix still do that? They still do the whole sitting? Wow, I didn't know that.
It's a separate service that is like powered by Netflix. So it's called dvd.netflix.com.
Yeah.
So it's like a separate billing altogether. It won't go into your Netflix like streaming billing. So that kind of sucks.
I had no idea that still existed at that point.
Yeah. So right now,
I have
Ghost,
That's
which
fun.
I'm gonna watch later.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Wait, I'm sorry. Which one is
I
that?
said I'm gonna be watching Ghost later, but
That's a different kind of level of that. But yeah,
that is not a horror film, but there is a
so
ghost
people
in
on the stairs. That's for sure.
it.
People on the stairs is great. Man, I haven't seen that in ages. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm looking forward to talking about Get Out. I also wrote about it on my website. I just launched my new website, which is hitormissmovies.net. Could not get that com, but .net anyways.
Yeah,
I
still good. That
have a
was a trip.
blog post on there called I have a confession to make, and it's about Get Out and Logan. And
Oh,
it
cool.
talks about when people go to a double feature and people know that you've gone to a double feature, the question you automatically get
Yeah.
asked is, do you know?
I'm assuming, are they both good? I mean, yes. I don't
Usually
know.
you get asked, which one did you like better?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally.
And I hate that question because I don't like
It's the
to
worst. Yeah.
compare like apples to oranges. But I
Yeah, double
answer it
features are
anyway.
tough like that for me. Like, I used to love doing the whole double feature thing, but like, it's a weird thing because you watch a movie for 2 hours into that movie, or you're not into it by the end, and that whole feeling is when you go to that next movie, you carry it on from that. So you're
Mhm.
hoping that first movie is really good, otherwise you're in trouble for your next movie. So
That is true.
yeah.
I double features are something like I've never really the first time I ever did a double feature was
Yeah.
seeing I believe I saw Fight Club first, followed
Mm.
by American Beauty. So there you go.
Oh, look at that double feature. That's a good one.
That was
That's
the
a good double
first
feature.
double
Man, that's,
feature.
I mean, yeah, that is definitely two very different kind of movies, but it's
Yes.
awesome to see those two movies back to back.
And both very heavy. I was just like, "Oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
realize."
you're constantly thinking about Fight Club while you're watching American Beauty. That's completely distracting. You're like, wait a minute, Tyler Durden was where? Okay, I get it. Okay.
They could technically be in the same universe. I don't know.
I know.
Anyways,
Be anywhere. Really, that's the key.
let's go ahead and get into our second question, which is what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy.
Okay, so I'm going to have two answers for this, and literally about the same thing, because
Oh,
I was thinking about this. Because this is, by the way, your questions are tough. So
okay.
much I could read into this. There's so many different directions I could take for this. But I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
I'll be like, what's the best way to handle this? So I'm going to point out, because they're both deal with death. I don't know why. It's not nothing to do, like, I don't have any major kind of qualms with death or whatever. But for some reason, they both affected me in different ways with death, in different ways that were kind of handled. Um, for me, the first one is, I would say, is so Ups. Pixar movie Up came out. I think like maybe 5 years ago at this point, maybe even longer now.
I'll
Um,
say I want to guess 2009, but I'm going to let the waiting room fact check
all
me
right,
on that. I
chime
have
in on
no
this,
idea.
by the way. Um, I mean, I was really affected by Up when it came out. Peter did a great job with that movie. It's a very effective first 10 that I yet to movie do as well as that. In fact,
You are cutting
I
out
guess if you
for
haven't
me.
seen Up at this point, I'm cutting
You
out.
are.
Can
Whoa.
I go? There we are. I'm back.
Yes. Wait. Keep
Okay.
talking. Okay, there you
Good.
go. That's better.
We're back. There we go. It's funny. Well, this is the same room that Sean Finnegan was in, or Shark Finnegan, and his internet was going crazy in here too. So sorry.
It's the
IGN.
whole of the internet at IGN.
Yeah.
And it did come out in
We're just yeah.
2009. So I'm
Yes.
excited that
All
I'm
right.
smart.
That's right. You're on the right track with that one. But yeah, yeah, Up was great. The first 10 minutes is fantastic. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you haven't, you should definitely check it out. It's the first 10 minutes are so heartbreaking, so kind of uplifting and heartbreaking all at the same time.
Correct.
That for me ruined me when I'd seen it with, and I've always talked about this, like, no joke. I'm sure my kid will find this out over years from now, but like my daughter's name is based off the Carl's wife in Up.
Ellie?
Her name was Ellie. Yes. So our daughter's name is Ellington. Short is Ellie.
Oh, Cute.
And our whole thing about her character was just that it was so she was kind of this like up spirit, and I always thought that was really fascinating about that for her, and just the fact that you liked her so much, it took only 10 minutes for them to own you and go, oh man, oh my god, and just ruined you. So that was always a really hard one for me, because it's literally like I said, death. Death isn't like it's a pertinent thing around me from.
Hello. I don't hear you at all now. And this is
Especially,
sad.
yeah, I know you're talking therapy. You're getting me in this thing. You're just really taking me hard. And then the other direction is another movie, which Tim Burton is a bit of a hit or miss. He made a little movie that many people have not seen. Shame, because it's too bad. It's a movie it's written by John August, who, by the way, John August I think is a very underrated writer and needs to. And I guess he's actually writing the new Aladdin movie, which is interesting. But it's a movie called Big Fish.
Oh, yes. Of
Um,
course, Big
yeah,
Fish. Hmm.
yeah, I love Big Fish, and Big Fish is such a fascinating movie to me because it didn't, like Tim Burton movies. He's done a lot of kind of mainstreamy movies since then, but Big Fish was kind of off the radar. Um, like the more intimate Tim Burton movies, and then the bigger ones at this point for him. But like the ending of that movie with John, oh my god, it was Billy Crudup and Albert Finney. They're having a conversation, and the entire movie is built up. So the opposite version of it, where it took a very long time to build your audience to be like, this isn't an effective point of how to deal with death,
Right.
basically. And Albert Finney is telling all these crazy stories to Billy Crudup through the entire film. It's a father son thing, right? Stories to Billy Crudup, and he's just not. He just like doesn't buy into it. And all of a sudden, on his deathbed, when he's slowly dying, he just starts like Billy Crudup has this crazy moment where he starts realizing that he believes his dad's stories. Heartbreaking. It's a beautiful thing. It's amazing. It's just awesome because I think it basically Billy Crudup starts seeing the fantasies the father's having, and it's just so. Every time I get chills just talking about it, it's so good, and it's one of those things I guess for me, if it resonates because I think of it as like, I have a lot of big dreams because I like to be, saying being a filmmaker is like it's a tough thing to even tell anybody, and any parent. You're like, you want to do what? You want to do like I've always had a lot of crazy ideas in my time, and so I guess I kind of flip the tables in the connection of those stories. But for me, I look a little bit like the Albert Finney character in the fact that like I have these big wild ideas of imagination and things that I want to do, but for people to buy into them, it's always been a kind of a crazy thing to go and be like, oh, make comic books, you want to make movies, you want to do your YouTube channel? What? All right, whatever. So like the idea of like Billy Crudup's character understanding it for that first time is a weird kind of like, oh man, I just felt that. I felt the fact of like people understanding where my insane brain was coming from. I guess that's where it comes down
Yeah.
to.
Now for me for Up,
Yes.
especially those first 10 minutes, that triggers a memory for me personally because 2009 was the time that I was going to the doctor a lot because we were
Yeah.
having trouble getting pregnant. And
Oh.
so I watched it at the time when we had just gotten back from the doctor and was like, you are going to need to go on to the next step. And the next step is going to see a infertility specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Yep.
like, great. Can't wait to do that. So that was
Yeah.
a little
Sure.
discouraging. And I turn on Up, and it's like you get to the point where you know that she can't have kids. And I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
great,
Yeah. Yeah.
this
Wow.
is speaking to me so much right now. And so I
Yeah.
just like started crying, and my husband's like, are you gonna be okay? I was like, I think so, but right
Oh
now.
my gosh. Yeah.
I was like, how long have we even been watching this
Yeah.
film?
Yeah.
So there's
Well,
that.
the happy part of this story is it all worked out well. It sounds like so.
That's
That's good.
true. I do have two children now, and I did
Yeah.
not have to go. I mean, like that. What's interesting is, so we did all the stuff with the infertility doctor, whom I like you have to sign all the forms and you like pay a lot of money up front to go
Yep.
to your first visit with them. And basically like you pay all this money so that you can see this doctor, but you're going to be able to see them for a certain amount of time, like no matter what. So we get there, and I have never experienced an office quite like theirs. I was like, this is like the
Hmm.
Beverly Hills of like all doctors' offices. I was like, where am I right now? And as
Sure.
the night before, I had taken a pregnancy test and it had said that I was pregnant. And I was like, well, great. Now we're going to this doctor and we've already paid all this money. Maybe this is not real. Who knows?
Sure.
But
Yeah, of course.
we saw him and he was able to do an ultrasound that day, which was like real super early. And he's like, yep,
Yeah.
you're pregnant. I was like, okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I went back to him like I think 2 other times because he was like, I just
Yeah.
want to, since you're here and you've already paid, you might as well get your money's worth and like get a few visits and make sure that I like, him giving you the right pills and things like that. And I was like,
Sure.
perfect. I got it.
That's awesome.
Thanks. And then with Big
Yeah.
Fish was the last movie I saw with a friend of mine who died of cancer, like
Oh, geez.
right after that.
Wow.
So I will always think of Andrew whenever I think of Big Fish. Like that's just his
That's
face
good.
pops into my
Yeah.
head.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's wow. That's
So
big fish though, because I always assumed.
what's interesting, yeah, when we saw that movie, when we saw that movie together, I didn't know that the subject matter would be like about someone dying of cancer. And I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting that it's like this is who I'm with and what
Sorry,
this movie
I'm
is
losing
about
you.
all at the same time.
Lost you. I got you now.
Oh, are you back? Am I back? It's a bad
What's
connection.
up? It's the internet.
It's
There we
IGN.
go.
I'm gonna blame it on IGN.
Yeah. We'll just take we'll take the hit. Don't worry.
All right.
Internet company. Go figure.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
You're not at IGN. You're at someplace else because you never know. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll just.
We're good though. I think I'm getting you back now. I think you're starting to slowly get back to us.
Okay. Fantastic.
There we go.
All right. It says, Mike, you are cutting out a lot. That's all I hear in the chat right now.
What are they saying?
That you are cutting out a lot.
Am I? Sorry.
Just try to stay still.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help.
Yeah. Maybe we'll keep the internet going.
Let's get to our last question, which is what is a film that helped you through difficult times?
Oh, okay. They give me two. One more time. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna keep cheating your show.
Okay. I'll take
Sorry.
it.
There is the first movie. People are going at this one. I'm sorry.
I hope so.
Yeah. The first film that I see a lot over my time, and it breaks me as a man, is this movie called Jerry Maguire, which I like a lot.
There's no shame in that. Have you seen that exhibit that's all Jerry Maguire movies?
Oh, I saw that. I just saw that this morning because I was looking it up out of curiosity just to kind of prep myself ahead of time, and I'm like, oh wow, that's insane. So see this thing by the way. But yeah, Jerry Maguire
Lego
breaks me.
Batman
I don't know what it is.
Jerry
Every time
Maguire? Sorry.
Big time. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This works for me every time, and just to get to that ending sequence with him and Renee Zellweger, and man, like I guess me as a husband, not having the big moment with me, not having it with my wife, kind of breaks me every time that I don't get to have that with her, I guess.
But that ending scene, I still don't feel like they love each other. I still feel like they are together because of the son.
Oh, really? Wow, interesting.
I feel like it is a love story between Tom Cruise and the little boy.
Sure.
And she's just like there because she's the
just on along for the ride. Yeah. I think there is, but I totally get where you're coming from. That I get that, but at the same time, like I don't know, it just kind of like, yeah, I don't. It's a weird thing. It clicks because his character and his like, I need to go do my thing, is kind of been like, again, this is that independent spirit thing, where it's like I just want to go do it. I want to be that guy. I want to take that chances and do crazy things. I've done a lot of crazy things in my life. Hence, like, I mean, I've moved across country, but I also owned a store for a while. I've made a bunch of movies, tried to sell comic books on the comic book shelf at comic book stores for a while. Like, and I always look at that and go, I want to. That's the guy I am. I want to have those experiences with the wife of mine that I think I love, and I would assume that he loves her because I always feel like there's a tight connection between the two of them. Just it's subtle in that they're with their relationship, with their business and lifestyle is together, kind of thing. But I don't know. I just somehow that's just a movie that heavily resonates with me. It's just Cameron Crowe got me real strong on that one. So yeah, Crowe's movie has always been a little shaky after that. Like he is. It's funny. Like Cameron Crowe movies, when they work for me, they work. Like Say Anything, like works for me. Like it does that thing for me.
Vanilla Sky works for me.
Yeah. Does it?
I will admit that.
I totally like Vanilla Sky. Like it's one of those weird movies where people like I've never. I'm going to say this right now, and I feel terrible. I've never seen the original that was based on.
Oh yeah,
So,
I have seen that actually. What do you know? And I didn't
yeah,
like Penelope Cruz in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where we can become cats.
Oh, so weird.
Yeah, but yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It just Vanilla Sky worked. I haven't seen it in a long time. I really need to go back to that one again because for some reason.
Sky is a movie I love to like rant and hate on, but I love it. And I don't know why. It's because I love Twilight Zone so much. Like, and that is a Twilight Zone episode to me. Like,
yeah, it's funny. We were just having a talk in the office just recently about Twilight Zone, the movie, by the way, which I feel like is very, very underrated because no one ever references that movie and like how many big directors were involved with it at the time. And
yes,
it's
do you know
just,
all four?
Oh yeah, totally. Let's see. Let's go down the line here. It's John Landis, it's Spielberg, it's George Miller, and Dante.
Nice, good job.
Yeah,
thank you. You
yes.
pass.
The question is, what's the best one? Which one do you think is the best of the four?
I mean, wouldn't it have to be The Airplane?
Yeah. I mean, so, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the one I always definitely reference all the time, which I think is actually quite. Yeah, the John Lithgow thing. That's awesome. I mean, there's some great ones. I actually really like the Joe Dante one a lot, but I have a kind of a special thing for Joe Dante movies. Like his movies are just weird and interesting to me. I love Gremlins, love Innerspace.
Mm-hmm. The Burbs.
Love The Howling. Burbs. Oh, The Burbs, so good. Red Rover, let Ray come over. Yeah.
And what is your second film aside from Jerry Maguire?
Oh, so the rest of it is just an open genre, basically. That's because I'm a horror guy. I'm a big John Carpenter fan.
Okay.
Hence this is an example of that. Woo, yes. The Thing. I'm a really big fan of John Carpenter movies, especially, I mean, early Carpenter stuff is pretty amazing. Halloween's obviously great. The Fog's fantastic. The Thing, Escaping New York.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in China, which is fantastic. I love that movie. W.D. Richter is probably one of the most underrated men in Hollywood because he did that in Buckaroo Banzai when he wrote that. And man, the early John Carpenter days are just fantastic. And when I'm in a rough mood, In the Mouth of Madness, by the way, if you've never seen In the Mouth of Madness, watch In the Mouth of Madness. It's awesome. So good. But yeah, I'm a big fan of those. And those are the kind of movies that kind of get me when I'm in a kind of like a slump when it comes to trying to come up with clever, creative ideas. I always think of John Carpenter, how crazy things he did in the 80s that it's just today still one of the greatest things.
What is he doing now?
Also, the Thing. Carpenter's not. He's like, I mean, most of his IPs are about to basically be remade into something at this point,
right?
Because they're making a Big Trouble in Little China remake with The Rock, right. Which I have no idea what to feel about that.
And I have only seen the remake of The Thing.
Oh my God! Please watch the original.
It's in my the original is in my queue for the DVDs. So
yeah, definitely. If you have like a priority list, move it up, bump it. You need to see it. It's so good.
I gotta see people under the stairs first.
You do see that too. Wes Craven's he's a genius also. I'll totally give you that one.
The nice thing about doing a weekly show and having guests on is they'll say, I want to talk about this movie. And I'm like, great. I'm going to go watch that now. And so,
that's great.
So I'm like,
this is like the best, like this is the best, like the Netflix queue thing when it shows up and it's like we highly suggest this. This is like literally we're like the verbal suggestion to you now. That's all it is. Fantastic. It's
I
great.
love it because then I'm like, this channel's my dojo, and I get to learn about
Yeah.
all these great films.
Oh my god. Yeah. If you watch The Thing, let me know what you think about that because that's awesome. Like I love when first timers go to watch The Thing because you definitely should. By the way, watch it in a dark room. It's like with how Carpenter early movies are. Like if you watch Halloween and watch Halloween by yourself in a dark room, it's so good that way. It's so scary. But like The Thing it's so you like suspenseful stuff.
I do.
Watch The Thing.
Okay,
Oh boy, it's gross, suspenseful, and the effects are just awesome at this time. So
how did you like the remake? Or
it's
did you see it?
something. I saw it. I saw it. It's funny. It's I have seen it. I thought it's funny thing is like the cast in it's great, but it's unfortunately it's just a movie that's trying to kind of it's a clever concept. When I heard the concept, I was like, oh, this is an interesting idea. This is like the thing before the the thing before the thing. But like the locations that you saw before you actually when you kind of got tipped to in the original John Carpenter's The Thing. By the way, John Carpenter's The Thing is actually a remake of an older movie called The Thing. So that's actually a remake of a remake.
The thing,
So,
the thing,
yeah.
the thing.
But yeah, I would definitely. I wasn't really a fan of it. Wasn't a fan. Actually, funny enough, it's this bizarre genre of like the movies that got rebooted and remade that I keep forgetting about. Like the Total Recall remake
Yeah.
that like I totally forgot that existed. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing, right? Oh yeah, okay.
Now, here's the other
Fright Night was
question,
funny enough.
though.
That was actually
Do
funny.
you think you didn't like it because of the original?
You're talking about The Thing?
Yes.
Um, it's I definitely has that going against it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I could ever take that original movie and put it there. And it's an interesting thing because like from Hollywood studio system, they look at it as when they reboot or remake a movie. A lot of times the people are going in have never seen the originals. Connection is which is fine. Like it might work. It might play to that because people just have disconnects from that, and it works because it doesn't really mention enough about what the hell thing where it's remakes where they try to play fan service and they try to get the new audience in, and it's sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Great example is like that reboot with the Tron Legacy, which I love. Tron Legacy came out, and it was such a mishmash of trying to get an old audience and new audience together at the same time that like no one was happy at the end. I think it's a great movie, honestly.
We try to please everyone, and we just disappointed everyone.
No one gets pleased at that point. So
the only thing I loved about the Tron reboot was that the first time I ever went to Comic-Con, which was in 2010, and I didn't actually go in Comic-Con. I was just there in the area because my husband was working Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They set up like Flynn's, and I was like, this is awesome. I need to go there. But I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have tickets. Anyways.
Oh
well.
But yeah, I mean, Tron's great. Visually, it was really interesting. I liked it as a movie. I trust me, I can watch it and have absolutely no problems with it because I'm such a fanboy of the franchise. But the fact that we even got a sequel, it blows my mind. And I guess the rumor on the street is that we might see another one now because of Jared Leto, but we'll see.
Right. Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, thank you so much, Mike, for coming on this show. Where can the other patients in the waiting room find you?
Hello, patients. They can catch me at classicaransky.com. That's ClassicAransky.com. That's just basically pushes right to my YouTube channel. So you can just watch that and watch me get frustrated trying to make a movie again because it ain't easy.
Is Phobia available anywhere?
It is. Funny enough, Phobia is my biggest release. It got released at Walmart. It's actually a physical copy. So actually on my desk over there on my thing. You can also find it on Amazon. You can find it if you have a PlayStation on the PlayStation Network. You can watch that there, or Xbox, or Roku. Not Netflix yet. In due time. I'm sure there's about 1 million rips of it at this point. So if you really just want to find a bootleg, I've seen plenty of them out there. So don't worry.
All right, and you're on Twitter.
And I'm on Twitter at Mike Aransky.
Excellent. You can find me all day, every day, sometimes more on Twitter at Miss Movies, or you can find me at Disneyland tomorrow. What? Say hi if you're there.
You going to Disneyland? You should make sure to go to
Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
I want to get there right now.
Where am I going? I said, where did you say?
See you tomorrow night.
Oh, I
Check
do
out the
want to
Electric
see
Light
that.
Parade.
I don't know if I'll be there that late because with the kids,
Yeah,
I just do half day.
See, the good thing is you're closer to there. Like, I have a season pass. I get to go like a couple times a year with my kid, but I'm a fan. I'm a big, hence the reason why I have a Disney mug. I walk around all the time for Epcot. So
Nice, love it. All right, well, thank you all for
Disney's.
joining us. We
Thank
will
you.
see you next time. Bye.
Awesome.
Bye.
Gotcha.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.